So today you'll need your math workbook, your math spiral, and a pencil. If you did not hear that, get those.
I already have all that stuff. Yeah. I've been ready since 12:45 for math.
That's awesome. Way to be responsible. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my learning target. Today we are going to tell and write time before and after the hour to the nearest minute. So before I start that, I will do a quick review of what we worked on Thursday, which was telling time to the minute, to the 5 minute, to the half hour, quarter hour, and hour. So why do we do this? We talked about this on Thursday, that real life has a lot of time in it. We have been talking to parents about helping you get onto Zoom at the right time. How do you know when to get onto Zoom? How do you know how much time you have to take that break? I just think this couldn't be a better time to be going over these concepts. So hopefully today, to be successful, you'll be able to state times to 5 minutes using the words before and after with the appropriate hour. You'll be able to read and show time to the minute, before and after the hour. That is our goal. All right. Before we do that, there was a section on Thursday we didn't get to, and I'll try to do a little review of this as we finish with our time lessons. But how many of you have schema about AM or PM? Like right now, it's about 2:18. Is that AM?
PM.
PM. All right, Haley Booker, why do you think it's PM? Can you tell us more?
Because how you know it's AM or PM is AM. Sometimes it's like kind of light out, and then at PM it's kind of like getting a little bit more darker, and like it's still kind of like it's still bright out, but it's kind of.
Okay, so it sounds like you're separating it into two parts, more like in the morning and afternoon, or your AM, and then later afternoon and evening to the dark hours of the night, maybe PM, but then we also have that AM, right? When we're sleeping. So if you can remember midnight and 12 o'clock in the afternoon, those are two great spots to remember, because at midnight, it changes from PM to AM. And then again at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, I always think lunchtime, it changes from AM to PM. So let's just watch this quick video and see if we can build our schema a little bit.
Popo gets an invitation at 7 from Gold for a party. There are 24 hours in a day, but there are only 12 numbers on a clock. The hour hand goes round the clock twice in one day. That's why we have 9 o'clock in the morning and 9 o'clock at night. So how do we know whether it's 9 in the morning or 9 at night? 12 o'clock at night is called midnight because it's in the middle of the night. 12 o'clock during the day is called noon. Time between 12 midnight and 12 noon is denoted by AM. Time between 12 noon and 12 midnight is denoted by PM. Look at some more examples.
Okay. All right, sorry. So I'd like you to look at page 180 in your math workbook. And this is a timetable of daily activities. And we're gonna see if we can figure out if it's light or dark, what part of the day it is, and what activity you might be doing. So I want you to think about 3:15 a.m. Is that going to be when it's light outside or dark outside? Josh? Carter?
Dark.
It's going to be dark. How do you know?
Because 3:15 a.m. is really, really early in the morning when it's still dark.
Yeah, we're sleeping at 3:15, right? a.m. I'm in bed sound asleep, so it's dark.
My dad isn't.
That's nighttime. And what we would be doing at night is sleeping, unless maybe you have the night shift at a special job. If you're a nurse or a doctor, or you work in a factory that is open at night. Most of us, however, are sleeping. All right, 8 o'clock a.m. Is that going to be light out or dark out? Let's see, I'm gonna pull out of my can. How about Marin? Light or dark at 8 o'clock a.m.?
Light.
How do you know?
Because a.m. is the morning.
Yeah, 8 o'clock a.m., it's in the morning. What might you be doing, Marin, at 8 o'clock a.m.? What's an activity you do at 8 o'clock a.m.?
Maybe eating breakfast.
Yeah, breakfast. Excellent. Okay, 2:30 p.m. So now we're at the, not a.m., but p.m. How about Sunny? Light or dark?
Light.
How do you know?
Because 2:30 is like right now and it's still light out.
Yes, I'm so glad you were able to say that. That's exactly right. It's the afternoon, isn't it? It's when we are in school. So what might you be doing, Sunny? What activity at 2:30 p.m.?
Cool.
Yeah, math. Let's be even more specific. Math or school. School. All right, let's look at 6:15 p.m. I'm gonna pull out of my handy dandy can. Abby, is it gonna be light out or dark out? Now this one's very tricky because it could be, yeah. What do you think, Abby?
Abby's not here, sorry.
Oh, I saw her. She must have left. Sawyer.
Sawyer is also.
I'm here.
Oh, you are? Oh, she must have let you in when I was looking.
I'm here.
All right, good.
Okay, Sawyer, let's
Oh, Abby.
talk about it. Light or dark at 6:15 p.m. Sawyer, can you unmute and tell us if it would be light or dark at 6:15 p.m.?
I'm missing Sawyer, but I've got Abby. Sorry, that was confusing.
Abby, do you want to share?
Yeah, I think it is light. It's darkest light.
Okay, so it can be light like in the summertime, right? And fall, early fall, but then now, late fall and winter, it's dark by 6:15, isn't it? So
Okay.
it can be both.
I think it's on the part of the day. I think it's the evening.
Okay, what do you do at 6:15 in the evening, Miss Abby?
What?
What's an activity that you might do at 6:15 in the evening?
On like a break?
But something you do, like what do? Do you eat dinner? Do you?
I read at 6:15.
Okay, we could do read, maybe dinner.
Video
games.
All right.
Play with your dog.
Yeah, play with your dog.
I would play video games.
Play video games. Suriname, what about 8:45 p.m.? Is it going to be light or dark out? Suriname.
Right. Having a midnight snack.
Suriname is not here yet.
Okay.
I'll do it again.
Ethan,
Ethan is here.
what might you do at 8:45 p.m.? And is it light or dark? What part of the day is it? What are you thinking? Okay, I'm going to go with Elena. 8:45 p.m. Josh Lewis, 8:45 p.m. What are you thinking? I see your hand is up.
Dark.
It is dark. You're right. And what part of the day is it, Josh?
Like
Night? It's nighttime, right?
yeah.
And then what activity might you do at 8:45 p.m.?
Like sleeping.
You could be sleeping if you're lucky.
Midnight snack.
At midnight, I think Ethan would have a midnight snack. That's when it changes, right, from p.m. to a.m. That's what you can be thinking, Ethan, when you get your midnight snack. Right now, while I'm eating my midnight snack, it is no longer p.m., it is a.m. All right, good job, guys. I just wanted to make sure we touched on that before we moved on to our learning targets, because we missed it on Thursday. So here's what I thought we could do. In your math spiral, I'm gonna put a time on the clock. And this is a review from last week, since we've had 3 days where I haven't gotten to see you. And I want you to write the time on your math spiral and hold it up, okay? And then I'm gonna give you an activity and you're gonna write AM or PM. Okay, so I'm gonna push on the interactive clock, which you guys always have access to on our slideshow in your Google Classroom if you want to use it to help you with your solving your word problems. All right, so I'm going to put a time on here. Don't do this one. This one's way too easy for you guys.
12.
Okay, go ahead, write that time in your math spiral, and then you're going to write AM or PM. Listen to what I'm doing. At 6:15, Mrs. Aubin is preparing dinner. I wish I were eating it, but I'm never ready to eat at 6:15. I'm just starting to get it ready. Oh, I gave it away, didn't I? At this time, I'm preparing dinner. Write what you think the time is. Ah. Oh, well. Let's see who caught it. All right, I see, Josh, I see your hand. Let's give everyone a chance. Can you hold up your math spiral with the time? Sunny, just lower it a little bit so I see your spiral. I just don't see the time. There. Okay, now can you write AM or PM? I see it. Can you write AM or PM?
PM. Hey.
Let's stay muted till I see your time, Josh. Check again. Check your hour hand. See what it's pointing to or near. Remember, always go to the lower number and then start at the 5 and at the 12 and count by 5s. Okay, Josh?
I said
So
6.
I see you, Katie. All right. If you think it's PM, give me a thumbs up. If you think it's AM, give me a thumbs down. Or if your thumb was up for PM, you are right. 6:15 PM is in the evening when I would be making dinner. So the time is 6 6:15. You should have written 6:15. Because the hour hand is between the 6 and the 7. That's what you want to look at first. See where it is? The hour hand is your shorthand. It's between these two numbers. It's not in the 7 o'clock hour yet. It's still in that 6 o'clock hour. Then when I look at the minute hand, which is here, the longer hand of minute, I don't just look at the 3 and write 6:3. I have to start at the 12 and see how many minutes have passed. 5, 10, and you should have gotten 15. Now notice, that's a 3, right? Remember when I told you there's a trick? You could multiply the 3 times 5 and get 15? Because each one of these numbers is representing that group of 5. So you could just multiply the number by 5 to get your number of minutes if it's on the 5-minute mark. All right, let's try another one.
We kept scaring him. Jackson was being a dinosaur. And so Logan.
What time? Hold on, I'm going to lock that.
He wants to
And
make
then-
you correct.
What time is it?
And you start.
7:45.
So guys, I don't want you to yell out. I'm asking you to write it in your math spiral and hold it up for me. Write it in your math spiral and hold it up, then we'll discuss it. So when I say what time is it, that's what I'm asking you to do. And here's what I would be doing at 7:45. I would be quickly hurrying up to get to work. I'd be throwing my lunch.
You gave it away again.
Oh, did I again? Oh. So I don't know that everyone's catching on to that. So let's stay muted and maybe they won't. I see.
I already know what it is.
Robert, I see you. Can you write AM or PM? So at this time in the morning, I would be throwing my lunch in the car. I would be making sure my shoes are on. The dogs have their dog biscuits. The cats have their cat treats, and I'd be rushing to work. Oh, Lila Morris, I see you. Max Deesberg, can I see your math spiral? All right, Max Deesberg, can you unmute and share your thinking? What time is it? I think the headphones are keeping you muted.
7:45 a.m.
How do you know?
Because you said that you would be going to work, and usually you go to work in the morning.
Exactly. How do you know it's 7:45? When you look at this hour hand, what do you notice?
It's not the hour hand isn't quite yet to the 8, so it's still 7. And if you skip count by 5s to 9, you would get 45.
Excellent. Nicely done, Max. Thank you for sharing your thinking. All right, we're going to do a couple more as a review. Okay, there you go. What time is it? Write it in your spiral. At this time, I'm not saying what time, but at this time, I would be probably doing some school work to get ready for the next day. I might have something on TV, or if I'm real lucky, I might be brushing my teeth and washing my face and getting ready for bed, but I doubt it. But that would be nice in the perfect world. What time is it? When my kids were your age, they would have been getting ready for bed at this time. Maybe reading. Once you think you know what time it is, write it on your math spiral and hold it up. Abby, are you almost there? I'd love to see your spiral when you're done.
I'm done.
All right, you don't have to tell me, just hold it up. I see you, Lila, thank you. You might want to look at it again. Look at that hour hand, then look at that minute hand. Starting at the 12, you have to count. You can count by 5s and then add on your 1s. Or you could count by 1s. You could count by 1s the whole time, and that's okay. All right. Cooper, can you unmute and tell us your thinking?
I think it's 8:12.
Okay, you got the hour right. So let's talk about the minutes. So you see that the hour hand is very close to that 8. It's in the 8 o'clock hour. But let's go up to the minutes. How did you get 12? Show me. Let's count. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What'd you get? 7. So 8:07. You got to put that 0 there to hold the tens place since there isn't a 10. Because that if you don't put that 0 there, you're going to have like 70 minutes, which we don't want. So 8:07. And is it AM or PM, Cooper?
PM.
Very good. How do you know?
Because it's after 12 o'clock.
After 12 o'clock when I'm getting ready for bed or reading or, yep, I'm not going to be, it's not the morning, is it? All right, last one, and then we got to get going on our learning target. We're doing just fine. All right. Let's try another one. Not yet, not yet. Okay, what time is it? Look at that hour hand first. What 2 numbers is it between? Go to the lower number. And then when you get to the minute hand, the blue hand, the long one, you don't just get to look at the number. You have to see how many minutes have passed, starting at that 12, counting around the clock by 5s and then add on your 1s.
What would you be doing at this time?
Oh, good job. At this time, I would be thinking about my lunch and what I'm going to eat for lunch. This one's going to be a little tricky, I think. Okay, Charlie Carr, can you unmute and share? Thank you, Marin. I see your work.
I think it's 11:36 a.m.
How do you know you're right? Can you explain your thinking?
because it's before the 12.
Our hand is, yeah, it's halfway between, right? But it's still in the 11 o'clock hour. How did you get 36 minutes?
Because I knew the 7 was 35, and it was just one above, so it had to be 36.
Let's check his work. Count by 5s with me. 5, 10,
10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35.
36. Very good. And I loved your explanation. All right. So that is kind of what we talked about on Thursday. We went through a lot of different times with to the nearest minute, to the nearest 5 minutes, quarter, hour, half hour, and so forth. So I am going to exit out of that. And then let's go ahead and talk about telling time before and after the hour. It's a little bit different than what we were just doing. So pay attention.
Minute, hour. Look at the times. How many minutes after the hour is each time? Let's find out. What time does the first clock show? The first clock shows 1:15. How many minutes after 1 is this time? It is 15 minutes after 1. You can also say 1:15. What time does the next clock show? The next clock shows 1:30. How many minutes after 1 is this time?
30 minutes.
After 1. You can also say 1:30. What time does the last clock show? The last clock shows 1:50. It is 50 minutes after 1. You can use the word after to tell each time. Times after the half hour are often read as times before the next hour. Times after the half hour refer to times from 30 to 59 minutes after the hour. What time does the first clock show? The first clock shows 3:30. How many minutes before 4 is this time? It is 30 minutes before 4. What time does the next clock show? The next clock shows 3:45. How many minutes before 4 is this time? It is 15 minutes before 4. You can also say 4:45. What time does the last clock show? The last clock shows 3:50. How many minutes before 4 is this time? It is 10 minutes before 4. You can use the word before to tell each time. You have learned how to tell time using after and before.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and look at different times, and we're going to write the times as minutes after an hour and minutes before the hour. So turn to page 183 in your math workbook, and we'll start with after, and then we'll try some with before. Because remember, when we started this big idea on telling time, we said there's many ways of telling the same time. We have different ways, and we notice that we hear our teachers say it, we hear our parents say it. You might be very accustomed to saying 3:15 or 3:30. Some of us just like to say 3:30 or 3:15, but there's many ways of saying it. And this is just another one. And what I like about teaching this lesson is it really helps me know who understands the clock and time. because when you say minutes after, minutes before, you understand there's 60 minutes in that hour, and you know how to count by fives and how to count by ones. So you have all the skills to do this. Now it's just practicing and looking at it and participating. So I'm going to do the first one and maybe the second one with you. I want you to write your answers in your workbook, and then we'll do kind of an I do, we do, you do with some of these and see how it goes. All right, number one. First thing you're going to do when you try to come up with the time of before and after is you got to find out what time it is to begin with. So I'm going to use the skills we talked about on Thursday and in our review today. I'm going to look at that hour hand, and I'm going to notice that it comes between the 12 and the 1, a little bit closer to the 1 than the 12. But I know it's still in the 12 o'clock hour. So I'm going to just write the time digitally up here. It's in the 12 o'clock hour. And I see my minute hand is on the 9. And I know 5 times 9 is 45. So it's 12:45. But I'm going to double check that. I'm going to start at the 12 and count by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. Yep. So it is 12:45. Now, they said in the video I just watched that I can use the word after to write the time. So if I'm talking about minutes after the hour, then all I have to do is look at my digital time here, and I can say the minutes, 45, and I'm going to use an abbreviation, MIN period for minutes, 45 minutes after, and then I'm going to look at the hour where my arrow is pointing. It's pointing at 12, 45 minutes after 12. So that is how I would use after to tell that time for 12:45. It's 45 minutes after 12. Or I could write it as before. Now, to find the before, I have to find how many more minutes it is until the next hour. So I'm going to count 5, 10, 15. There are 15 minutes before, and it can't be 12. It has to be the next hour, 1. 15 minutes before 1. Or I could say a quarter till 1. But because we're using the words after and before, I'm going to go ahead and just say 15 minutes before 1 o'clock. Now let's try another one. I hope you're writing this down with me so that you can learn it and have an example like you do in EL. Same idea. I'm going to look at the clock in number 2. I'm going to look at the hour hand first, the thicker one, the shorter one. It's between the 2 and the 3. It's closer to the 2. So it's in the 2 o'clock hour. You always go to the number before. Now I have to look at the long hand, the minute hand. It is pointing to the 4. I know it's not 2, 4. That represents how many minutes past the hour it is. Since it's on the 4, and I know that represents 4 groups of 5, I could say 4 times 5 equals 20. I could say it's 220, but I better check my work. If I come up to the 12 and count by 5s, 5, 10, 15, 20. Yes, it is 20 minutes after 2. Oh, look at that. I want to use the word after to tell the time. How many minutes? 20 minutes after, and I'm looking at my minutes and my hour, after 2. And I could say after 2 o'clock, 20 minutes after 2. But now I want to find how many minutes before the next hour it is. So I'm going to count from the 4 all the way to the 12 and see how long it's going to be till it's 3 o'clock to the next hour. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. 40 minutes before, and not 2, the next hour. What comes after 2? 3. 40 minutes before 3 o'clock. Did anyone notice what's happening with these minutes, if I added them together, I would get 60. That's a good way to check your work because they have to equal 60 minutes because there's 60 minutes in an hour. All right, let's do, that was me doing it. I did those two. Now let's do it together. Let's look at number 3. I'm actually gonna ask for a volunteer instead of pulling out of my can because I know this is a tricky concept. I wanna find someone who feels confident. Sunny Crow, would you please unmute and share your thinking for number 3? First, tell us what time it is.
5:40.
Okay, she's right. It's 5:40 because that hour hands between the 5 and the 6, the minute hands on the 8, 8 times 5 is 40. Or if you counted 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Good. Okay, now what? How would I say it with after, using the word after?
40 minutes after 5.
40 minutes after 5. All right, how would I say it before?
6 before.
Count by 5s. 5, 10, 15,
20.
Right, because it has to equal
6
60.
before.
So how would I say that? 20 minutes left.
20 minutes after.
We already did after. We want to use before now.
20 minutes before 6.
You got it. Nicely done. Gavin, what about number 4? First, tell me what time it is.
It's 7:35.
Excellent. So we've got 7:35. How would I tell that time with minutes after?
Um, 35 minutes after 7.
Excellent. How about before?
"25 minutes before."
That's great. I'm glad you're feeling confident in telling time before and after the hour.
Lots of good thumbs.
A lot of thumbs. That makes me happy. Those were to the 5-minute. Turn to the next page. Now on page 184, we're going to do the same exact thing. So I don't have to teach you anything new, except it's not on the 5-minute. It's on the minute. So we're going to do this again. I'm going to do the first 2. I'm going to ask you to do 1 or 2 and see if you can do a couple yourself. So let's see if we can get going. I think it'll be a lot easier this time. I'm going to look first at the time. I see the hour hands between the 6 and the 7. It's in the 6 o'clock hour. I see the minute hand is after the 5. So I know I'm going to have to count by 5s till I get to the 5, then count by 1s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 26, 27. So I found that the time is 6:27. That's probably the hardest part, is figuring out the time to the nearest minute, because now we're just doing what we did before. 27 minutes after 6. Okay, but now I have to figure out how many minutes until the next hour. That's a little tricky when it's by minutes. So what I'm going to teach you is a little trick. I think that helps, because I like counting by 5s first, then counting by 1s. I'm going to start at the 12 and go backwards till I get to that minute hand. Watch what I'm going to do. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Oh, this is much easier. 31, 32, 33. So now I know 33 more minutes before 7. I can add this up. 7 plus 3 is 10. Carry the 1. 2 plus 1 is 3. Plus 3 is 6. I'm checking my work. Some of you might even be thinking, what if I did 60 minus 27 to find out how many minutes before 7 it is? Sure, that would work as well. I would say 0 minus 7 I can't do. Cross out that 6, make it a 5, make a new 10. 10 minus 7 is 3. 5 minus 2 is 3. You could do it that way if you don't want to count on the clock. That's a great strategy. I'm going to do another one, then we'll do the next, number 12 together. Looking at number 11, I see the hour hand is between the 1 and the 2, much closer to the 2, but it's still in that 1 o'clock hour. Ah, that minute hand is a little bit after the 10. I know 10 times 5 is 50, but I'm going to double check. I'm going to count 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Now I've got to count by ones. 51, 52. So I've got 152. 52 minutes after 1. Here are my minutes. I'm looking how many minutes it is after the hour. Now, some of you might already know what plus 52 equals 60. How many more minutes do we have until 2 o'clock? Well, I could try that. I could do subtraction, or I could count backwards. 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 minutes before 2, the next hour. All right, look at number 12. I'm looking for a volunteer that feels confident in what we're doing, that would like to share their thinking. Josh Carter, I see your hand is up. What is the time first?
The time is 12:48.
Okay, so now that you know that, how would I write that for minutes before? Or minutes after, I'm sorry.
You could do 48 minutes after 12.
Okay, what about before?
You could do 48 minutes. Wait, no. Maybe 12. You could do 48 minutes after 12 and before 12.
You had it. 48 minutes after 12. How many more minutes before the next hour? What plus 48 is going to equal 60?
So
5, 10, 11.
11.
Close. 10 plus 2 more.
12.
Excellent. And we know 8 plus 2 is 0. Carry the 1. It would equal 60. If you don't check it, you might get it wrong. So it's good to check your work. There are 12 minutes before 1. All right. Someone willing to do number 13? First, we need to know the time.
I bet Lila Morris, she's got them done.
Lila Morris, let's hear it. Oh, this one is on the, how weird are they?
Yeah.
I don't understand. I think that's a misprint, but oh well, okay. Go ahead. Can we skip? Let's do number 14 because this one's one we already did.
Lila should still be ready.
Okay, Lila, let's look at number 14.
Okay, so the number on number 14 is 349. And how you do that is you look at where the 10 is, which means 50. And it looks like it counted back 1, and then I made sure it was because I used my pencil to drag to the minute. And then I looked at the hour, and it's not quite to the 4, and it's still in the 3 section. So it's 3:49.
All right, so how would you tell that time of minutes after the hour?
49 minutes after 3.
What about how many minutes before the next hour? What would that be?
That could be 21 minutes.
Let's check that. Think about it. It has to equal 60. Let's start at the 12 and count back. 5, 10, and one more. How many minutes is that? 10 plus one more.
20.
Count with me, ready, Lila?
11.
10, 11, right? That would make sense. And what's the next hour?
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. Okay, on your own, try number 15. We're not going to go in breakout rooms. Just try the next one on your own. First, write the time digitally, then write the minutes after the hour and the minutes before the next hour. Number 15, go for it. You've got about 60 seconds. You can do it. And if, yes.
I already finished 15.
Then do 16.
Okay.
I finished them all.
Good for you. So just sit patiently until we go over it. You have about 30 more seconds.
Done.
All right. See how you did. Check your work. Looking at the hour hand, it's between the 5 and the 6, but it's still not 5 o'clock hour. Still always go to that number before. Looking at the minute hand, it's so hard to see on that. It looks like it's 1 minute past the 10. Let me double check that in my workbook. This is number, which number are we doing? 15. Okay, it is 1 minute past the 10, so I know 10 times 5 is 50, plus one more would be 51, but let me check. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, plus one more. So that's 51 minutes after 5. And then I'm going to start at the 12. I'm going to count backwards because I like to count by 5s. 5. Now I got to count by 1. 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 minutes before 6. And what I like is that I know 51 plus 9 equals 60, so that's right. Give me a thumbs up if you got it right. Awesome. So now you guys know how to tell time digitally just by looking at it, how to tell it before the hour and after the hour. That is impressive. Okay, so I want to see the thermometer on our learning target today. We asked you to be able to tell time before and after the hour. How do you feel about it? It was a lot. It's a lot of math. In the middle, if you're not quite there, but you get an idea, you think you're almost there, you're just not there yet. Thumbs down if this is like, okay, I'm looking, I see you, Max. See you, Josh.
Katie's looking good.
Good, double thumbs from Evie. Gabe, you're feeling good about it? This makes me really happy. I hope you guys are being honest.
Yeah.
Madison, I see you. Reese, I see you. I expected way more middle, in the middle and down. Cooper, I'm so happy you're feeling good. Elena, you need more time with it. Okay. We'll keep practicing. One thing you can do at home, guys, is practice. When we started this unit, you all said you had an analog clock, a clock like the one we're using. And so that's great. Start asking yourself, what time is it? Look at the clock. Have your parents help you. Like, Mom, how many minutes till dinner? And then she could even say, well, look at the clock. Try to figure it out. How many more minutes till bedtime or till 8 o'clock? Use that analog clock to help you. Okay, Abby? All right, here's what I'd like you to do. A lot of you are skipping this. I need you to go in and do your Think Central. You have 15 minutes before the bell would normally ring. So it's only 3:20. I'm going to stay on with Max Fox if he's here, Lennox, and Lila Morris. The rest of you can go do your Think Central. If you haven't done 3.6, do that one before you do 3.7 or 3.5. I've got a lot of missing Think Centrals, but I got a lot of you who are doing great too. Max Diesberg, wow. Wowzy, wow, wow. You get the award, the Think Central Award. You're doing amazing. All right, guys, great work today. I'm so proud of you. Lila, make sure you stay on. Max Fox, if you're here, and if Lennox is here. And I will see you guys mañana.
All right. Go ahead and quit recording, Mrs. Auden.
I am doing it.